Hey guys, hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I look kind of crazy because I didn't plan to come back on here to do another video today, but I just thought about something because I was looking at my analytics weeks ago, and one of my watch videos has to do with something with being a medical assistant and stuff like that. And with the healthcare field just booming and, so many people are going into it, I think this video would be useful for that. I did a medical assisting program. I thought that I wanted to be a medical assistant, and then later on things happened in life that I'll talk about later in the video that changed my mind, and I just was like, no, it's not it. I could still look for work now as a medical assistant if I really, really wanted to do it. But it's just something that I'm not really as interested in anymore, especially the front desk area that has to do with dealing with insurance and all that. Okay. So a couple years ago, I did a medical assisting program. I went to school, and I think it cost about, I want to say maybe $3,000 to $4,000 together for the whole program, a 6-month program. There was a clinical side and administrative side. I picked that administrative side because that was mostly paperwork, being on the computer, dealing with patients outside. Clinical has to do with more like you give shots, you check blood pressures, you could give injections, and stuff like that. So I chose that. And then after I was finished with the program, I got a little certificate. And then also you could also take a test after if you wanted to. I believe that having that certification even helps more when it comes to getting jobs. After the program was done, I was sent to an internship. The internship turned out really bad. It wasn't the best. But I think they also placed us just because they couldn't find anything else and threw a lot of students there. That place did not allow me to really be seen, to do my best, so that I could get hired there. So after I left, I was struggling to find work. I was looking all over and just could not, and I found they placed me at a really, really great hospital, a really big hospital that's known worldwide. And I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the start of the future for me in medical assisting. But that's not how that thing went down. Anyway, with temp agencies, you guys know they scam people pretty much. They get your social, put you in the system. And sometimes, they keep promising that they're going to put you in a place where you're going to find that nice job and all that stuff. But really, it doesn't work out like that. You just find yourself being moved around, which is what happened to me. So I was moved around in so many departments. The one department that I stayed in for like a year was to cover this lady that had left for, maternity leave. And they were almost hiring me there, but the environment was just not it. It was a little bit too toxic for me. And I said, you know what? This is not it. So they kept moving me around, and every environment that I went to, it just felt it was really bad. I was struggling a lot, even with the training that they gave us to do the computer program, to schedule patients and all that. I just did not get the insurance part. I was struggling with that. So sometimes patients, I would have lines backed up at the front desk, and I couldn't schedule people because I didn't know how to do insurance. So I just found myself trying to ask people for help and all this stuff, trying to read up on it. And it just was not working out for me. So I said, you know what? This was getting too stressful where I would dread, Mondays. Like I was so stressed out, telling my mom all the time, like, this job is making me pull my hair out, And so I started thinking to myself, I'm like, is this really what I want to do in the future? Because if I don't get the insurance thing down, it's impossible, because you don't want to have patients coming in and getting treatment and their insurance doesn't cover them. And then later on, they're going to get nasty letters and all that stuff. So you really need to know what that and how to call for approvals and all that stuff, So I did that. And then at the time, I think 2 years into, working with the agency, that's when I met my husband, and I got pregnant with our son, and I started feeling really sick. So pretty much at the end of the 2 years, I was leaving the big hospital that I was in, and, life really changed. And so I was just like, okay, wow, and I don't know, but maybe that was the plan. I don't know. I just felt like everything changed for the good, and I became a stay-at-home mom, and pretty much I left working in a hospital because of that reason. And then I just never really bothered to call the agency back because also they were toxic and just a mess. So in a medical assisting program, find a school. You have to be ready to pay the fee somehow. They do offer I think they have some payment plans or something, and they have the program for medical assistant. They have clinical and administrative. You have to be spending about 3,000 to 4,000. I think at the time that I did it, get your certificate. You can sit in for, there's a test. I forgot the name. I put it on the screen somewhere, but there's a test that you can take to also just help you show that you really are certified. And it is fun, being in the front desk is fun and having patients in front of you, but it's also really, really stressful. It's not the most complicated job, but it is that you have to be on everything, because sometimes nurses and patients, they're on you like just waiting, and the doctor is like, do you have this and do you have that? You have to be ready, and so for me, that stress and the pace of it just took a toll on me. And I'm glad that I did the agency in a way, because it showed me for sure that this is not really what I wanted to do. Like, I would like to work in the hospital, but maybe in a different environment, maybe somewhere else, because maybe like medical records or somewhere that I don't have to deal with insurance, because that's what I really learned from that. So sometimes it's really good to have an internship, to do an internship, or to try an agency and work somewhere that you're interested in, because then you could see really if it's something that you want to do, because that's what I learned, that the part about insurance was not for me. I also got a little certification with billing and coding. So billing and coding is a lot of people kind of say it's boring, but you have to know how to pretty much bill people for procedures and know the numbers. You kind of memorize this whole book on what codes to put in for what. If it's like, oh, if your left finger is injured, you could say like damage of the left finger, and there's a code for it that you put into for the insurance to bill. So you have to know that. So a lot of people do like that job. It's a little more boring, but it's decent. You don't deal with patients directly, but you have to really be correct, because if you mess up, you could have patients coming back at you and calling the hospital that they were charged for something that, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty my whole experience. Medical assisting is not difficult to get into. It's not, the pay is decent. It's not the best. So don't think you're going to get paid a lot of money, but I feel like it's a great start. And another thing I would tell you guys, if you're interested in doing medical assisting, please try working somewhere else, in a hospital environment in different ways. Like maybe you can work as a cashier, or people that do the food, for patients and things like that. So you're in the environment already. So after your internship, you can easily just come back and get a job. That's something that I wish I did. I just, was like, my ex brought it up that, there was a school that opened for medical assisting, and I was like, sure, I could do it. I mean, why not? The healthcare field is always booming, and I went to it. I didn't really think too much into it, but I wish that I would have done other things in the hospital to try to get to know people. I did volunteering at a hospital, but the position that I was going to get with medical assisting in this hospital, they didn't really have anything for me to do except for that. So, but I did have really good references that I could use, and anytime they needed to call somebody, they always called these people. So that's one good thing that I also picked up, is really good references. So if I needed that for my other jobs and stuff like that, they can easily call them. So yeah, so that's really one of the reasons why I quit doing medical assisting. And right now I'm not really, I'm kind of like, I might go back into looking for jobs in the hospital, but not so much as a medical assistant dealing with the insurance. So that's pretty much it. All right, guys, I think I've talked a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.